Welcome to today's video, where we embark on a transformative journey through two timeless biblical narratives, the Garden of Eden and the Garden of Gethsemane. In these sacred stories, we witness two distinct paths, one that led to disobedience and separation, and another that paved the way for redemption, sacrifice, and renewed hope. Join us as we explore the profound lessons of free will, personal transformation, and divine surrender. Whether you're seeking inspiration or guidance, this video is designed to ignite your spirit and encourage you to embrace a life where, even in the face of life's toughest challenges, you can say, "Not my will, but yours be done." The power of choice. Life is filled with choices, and every decision shapes our future. The Bible presents two significant gardens, Eden and Gethsemane, where pivotal choices were made. One led to the fall of humanity, and the other to our redemption. As we examine these two gardens, we discover profound lessons about obedience, faith, and the consequences of our decisions. Garden of Eden, the fall of man, the perfect beginning. Eden was a paradise created by God, filled with everything Adam and Eve needed. They lived in harmony with nature, with each other, and most importantly, with God. There was no pain, suffering, or death, only perfect communion with their Creator. The test of obedience. God gave Adam and Eve one command, not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. This command was not about restricting them, but about offering them a choice to trust and obey Him. The deception and fall. Satan, in the form of a serpent, tempted Eve by twisting God's words and planting doubt in her heart. Instead of trusting God, she and Adam chose to believe the lie that they could be like God by knowing good and evil. Their choice led to sin, shame, and separation from God. The consequences. Immediate shame and guilt, broken relationship with God, introduction of pain, suffering, and death into the world, expulsion from Eden. Adam and Eve's decision changed the course of history, showing us that disobedience to God leads to destruction and separation. Garden of Gethsemane, the redemption of man, the place of surrender. Unlike Eden, where Adam and Eve chose disobedience, Gethsemane was where Jesus chose obedience. On the night before his crucifixion, Jesus went to pray in this garden, knowing the suffering he was about to endure. The agony of the decision. Jesus was overwhelmed with sorrow, knowing that he would bear the sins of the world. He prayed, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me. Yet not my will, but yours be done." Luke 22:42. His humanity wrestled with the immense pain ahead, but he chose to submit to God's plan. The victory through obedience. Unlike Adam and Eve, who succumbed to temptation, Jesus resisted and obeyed God completely. His obedience led to the redemption of humanity, restoration of our relationship with God, victory over sin and death. Jesus' decision in Gethsemane reversed the failure of Eden, proving that obedience to God brings life and restoration. Lessons from Eden and Gethsemane. Choices have consequences. Adam and Eve's choice led to death, while Jesus' choice led to life. Every day, we face decisions that either draw us closer to God or push us further away. Trusting God's plan. Eve doubted God's goodness, while Jesus trusted God completely. We must learn to rely on God, even when His plans seem difficult. Prayer strengthens our decisions. Jesus prayed in His moment of trial, seeking strength from the Father. When faced with difficult choices, we should follow His example and seek God in prayer. Obedience leads to blessings. Disobedience brought a curse, but obedience brought salvation. When we choose to obey God, we experience His blessings and presence in our lives. Which garden will you choose? We all have our Eden moments, where temptation and self will lead us astray. But we also have Gethsemane moments, where we can choose to trust and obey God. The question is, will we follow the path of Adam and Eve, or will we follow the example of Jesus? The choice is ours, but the consequences are eternal. May we all find the strength to say, "Not my will, but yours be done." Expanding on the lessons from Eden and Gethsemane, the journey of choice and transformation. In our reflection on the two biblical gardens, Eden and Gethsemane, we have seen two pivotal moments in spiritual history. Eden represents the beginning of humankind and the tragic consequences of choosing self-reliance over divine instruction, while Gethsemane symbolizes the triumph of obedience, sacrifice, and trusting God's plan. To further explore these themes, we will delve into additional aspects that connect these narratives to our everyday lives. By examining free will, personal transformation, and the modern applications of these lessons, we can find encouragement and guidance to live faithfully today. The journey from Eden to Gethsemane, a path of human experience. The narrative arc from Eden to Gethsemane is one of both loss and redemption, a journey that encapsulates the human experience. In Eden, everything was created perfectly, yet the beauty of that creation was marred by a single choice that introduced sin. In contrast, Gethsemane stands as a beacon of hope, demonstrating that even in the darkest moments, submission to God's will can restore and redeem the broken relationship between humanity and its Creator. The shift from a paradise lost to a path of redemption emphasizes the core truth that every human being is given the freedom to choose. While the freedom to decide can lead us into error, it also provides the opportunity to seek transformation. The tragic decision in Eden did not seal humanity's fate irrevocably. Instead, it set the stage for a story of divine intervention, a narrative in which a Savior would later embody perfect obedience and offer reconciliation. This journey reminds us that while our past mistakes might lead to feelings of shame and separation, they do not have to define our future. Rather, they can serve as the impetus for spiritual growth. When we acknowledge our failures, we open ourselves to the transformative power of grace. It is this grace that invites us to step into our own Gethsemane moments, where even amid profound struggle and pain, we can choose a path that leads to renewal and hope. Understanding the dynamics of free will and divine sovereignty. Central to the discussion of Eden and Gethsemane is the delicate interplay between free will and divine sovereignty. God granted humanity the freedom to make choices, a gift that inherently carries the potential for both greatness and downfall. In Eden, the exercise of free will led Adam and Eve to choose their own desires over God's command, illustrating the vulnerability of human nature when detached from divine guidance. In contrast, Gethsemane reveals that the true strength of free will is not found in asserting our own plans, but in aligning our choices with God's will, even when the path is laden with pain and uncertainty. Jesus' prayer in Gethsemane, "Not my will, but yours be done," encapsulates the essence of surrendering our personal desires to trust in a higher plan. This submission is not an act of weakness. Rather, it is a courageous acknowledgement that divine wisdom surpasses human understanding. Modern life continually presents us with opportunities to exercise free will. Every decision, from career choices to relationships, from personal habits to spiritual practices, is a moment when we can either cling to self-reliance or seek divine guidance. By reflecting on the stories of Eden and Gethsemane, we learn that true freedom is found not in the absence of constraints, but in the intentional act of choosing what is best for our souls. When we decide to trust in God, we are not giving up our free will. We are using it to make choices that honor a greater purpose. Personal transformation through surrender and obedience. Transformation is at the heart of the journey from despair to hope. The Garden of Eden introduced a state of brokenness, a condition that manifested in shame, guilt, and a fractured relationship with God. However, the narrative does not end with that loss. Instead, it sets the stage for a profound transformation embodied in the Garden of Gethsemane. Jesus' example teaches us that surrendering our will does not mean resigning ourselves to fate. Rather, it is an active choice that leads to personal growth. In moments of deep distress or uncertainty, when the weight of our shortcomings seems unbearable, embracing God's will can bring about an inner transformation. This process often involves confronting our fears, accepting our limitations, and trusting that God's plan will lead us to a place of healing and restoration. Transformation through surrender is not instantaneous. It is a gradual process that requires daily commitment. Like the changing of the seasons, spiritual transformation unfolds over time. The morning prayer becomes a ritual that prepares our hearts to face the day's challenges with renewed strength. As we align our lives with God's purpose, we begin to see the ripples of His grace in every aspect of our existence, from the smallest acts of kindness to the major decisions that shape our future. One powerful aspect of this transformation is the shift from a mindset of fear and isolation to one of hope and connection. When we live in constant fear of our own imperfections, we tend to isolate ourselves from God and others. However, embracing God's will opens the door to a deeper relationship, not only with God but also with the community around us. Our shared experiences of struggle and redemption create bonds that are strengthened by mutual support and understanding. Embracing the gift of divine grace. The stories of Eden and Gethsemane are more than just historical accounts. They are mirrors reflecting our own struggles and triumphs. They remind us that while we may stumble and fall, the opportunity for renewal is always within reach. By choosing to surrender our will and align our lives with God's purpose, we step into a narrative of healing, restoration, and everlasting hope. As you continue on your spiritual journey, may you find the courage to confront your own Eden moments with honesty and the strength to rise into your personal Gethsemane with faith. Embrace every challenge as a chance to grow, and let each decision guide you toward a deeper, more meaningful connection with God. May the insights drawn from these sacred gardens inspire you to live with purpose, compassion, and unwavering trust in the divine plan. And in the midst of life's uncertainties, may you always remember that the grace of God is sufficient to overcome any obstacle, and that His love will guide you every step of the way.